So, welcome to the inaugural episode of Seaway Sports Lounge. My name is Ryan, and I'm your host, and I have my co-host here.
Yeah, how are you? I'm Typhoon Barton.
Yes, and Typhoon. Tell us about yourself?
As you can see, I'm a big supporter of the Montreal Canadiens, all the way.
Go. Mm-hmm.
Um, I love sports altogether, but my heart's with the Habs. I'm not gonna lie. My counterpart is a Leafs fan, so it felt good last year to watch the Habs come back and win that series.
And
There
I.
was
Mhm.
some ribbings there too.
Oh, and he didn't let up. I gave him one day. That was the bet, the deal. We're coworkers, and I said to everybody, I said to him, "You're allowed one day to razz me." And boy, oh boy, did he ever use that to the max. So anyway, he still keeps doing it anyway. But I mean, that's how it goes because they're Western Conference champions. Because that makes sense.
I only throw a jab in once in a while.
Yeah, I know. It's all good. Yeah, and my name's Ryan Hollingsworth. As he said, I am a full Leaf supporter. Essentially a Toronto-based team supporter for the most part. I'm a fan of the Raptors, Maple Leafs, and those teams are basically the ones I follow. I'm also a fan of the Green Bay Packers. I love sports in general. I love being in hockey pools, baseball, basketball. Actually, baseball pools I'm relatively new to, but I'm learning how it works. But other than that, I've enjoyed doing that kind of stuff. I watch the games, I listen to the news, I follow the rumors that go on, and that's basically my sports in a nutshell. So, yes.
To add to Ryan for sports, I am actually quite Montreal based for my sports teams. I'm a big fan of CF Montreal and the MLS as well. But when it comes to basketball, I'm actually a LA Lakers fan, and it has nothing to do with anybody now. I've been a Lakers fan since back when Vlade Divac and Magic Johnson were Lakers.
Hey, everybody has their teams. It's good. Before the Raptors showed up, I actually was a Bulls fan, so I do keep an eye on the Bulls if the Raptors go down or they don't do anything in the playoffs or never make it. So, which doesn't seem to be happening these days. So, even though they made it this year, they're fifth, but they weren't supposed to. I think they were meant to be not to do super well, but they surprised everybody. And
Overachieved.
yes, oh yeah, they overachieved big time. Unfortunately, they just couldn't surpass Philadelphia. They were just too strong for them. It was a good series. I watched it. It was a good series, but Philly just had them. Simple as that.
Experience to rookies, that's the difference.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's fair, and that's okay. I mean, that was a bonus playoff for them. So
Yeah, good experience for young kids.
yes, absolutely. Now, why are we doing this, Typhoon? Why are we on the Sports Lounge? How did this happen? Obviously you do.
You and I had a conversation. We should start a podcast on sports.
Yes, yes. This has been a long time coming. This is what we wanted to do, and we both have very similar interests in terms of sports in general. So we figured, okay, well, why not record ourselves and have a nice conversation? And that's what we're doing here. So we're having lots of fun with this stuff, and this has been in the making now for probably at least a year.
I'd say
So,
three.
yep,
We talked
three
about it about
years.
3 years ago.
3 years. Okay. Yeah. COVID, the pandemic obviously slowed things down, but now we're on the other side, or we think we're on the other side anyway. So,
We started talking about this in the old office.
yes, that's right. Yes. We both work at the same employers. So, in the same department as well, which is great. But yes, we wanted to do this, and that's what we're doing. So, I hope everybody enjoys this as we go along. And that's basically what we're up to. This is what the point is. This is the first episode. We're doing the introduction, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty. So basically, it's going to be an hour show. That's what we're hoping to do. About an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, depending on the subject we're talking. We're looking at, we're going to break it down maybe into 10, 15-minute segments, depending on the subject. And we're going to try to cover everything we can. And one of the components we'd like to cover, not sure if it'll be in this one per se, but definitely in the following episodes, will be a lot of local sports to our area. That's what one of our objectives is. We want to focus on local sports as much as the leagues around the world and all the major news and rumors that we've been hearing and changes that are happening.
We have some
Excuse me.
We have some decent local sports programs here, but they don't get enough attention, I find. So we're going to try and let people in on what we know and what we can get.
Absolutely, that's the plan. So stay tuned as we develop this podcast and continue, and we'll definitely bring that to everyone's attention and explain, or maybe one day even bring other people on this as we do this. So we'll see how this goes. So anyway, so that's basically who we are and what we're doing with this. And so I think with saying that, I think we'll take a small break, and then we will dive into the news of the day, which is one of our sections we're going to do is news of the day, and see what's happening around the leagues. Now Typhoon has his website up, and his computer on and everything, so he's able to see what's happening. So we'll see what he has to say, and we'll go from there and discuss what we read.
And there are a few breaking stories as we speak.
Excellent. Great. That makes me happy. And now we're back. So welcome back to Seaway Sports Lounge. This is Ryan. That's Typhoon. And this section that we're talking about in our next segment will be about the news around the NBA and the other parts of the leagues around the world. So go ahead, Typhoon. What do you have for us?
Well, starting with the NBA, since free agency kicked off 2 hours ago,
Okay.
we have a few deals to announce. Jalen Brunson of the Knicks just signed a 4-year, $110 million deal.
Wow, impressive.
Bradley Beal agreed to a 5-year, max $251 million deal with the Wizards.
Oh, Beal stayed. He was really talking of leaving, actually. There was chatter of him going elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Wow. That's what money, eh? That $250 million, like.
Well,
like,
Victor, you can't lose in that kind of deal.
No, I'm sorry. You don't lose. Anyway, go ahead. What's next?
Nikola Jokic just signed a historic 5-year max deal at $264 million.
Max deal. Wow. That's insane. I'm sorry. It's just insane. It's just, wow.
He's very good, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And I mean, I can't fathom it. So
yeah, another big one is Devin Booker is with the Suns, 4 years, $214 million.
Wow, one player, $214 million.
The Raptors agreed to a 3-year deal with Chris Boucher. Good. $35 million.
Okay, it's fair.
Thad Young agreed to a 2-year, $16 million.
Okay, I like those two. Those guys are decent. They'll be good players for the depth for the team as they continue to build. So
sure. And those are the guys you need for the future.
Oh, absolutely. And then they're very affordable, tradable contracts too. Like another team could pick them up if they absolutely needed them, or if something happened, they could get them. So.
And just because this guy has Lonnie Walker the fourth, because he's the fourth, that's hilarious. Lakers have agreed to a 1-year, $6.5 million deal with him.
Interesting. Now, I want to open the floor with both the Lakers. Now, you are a Lakers fan. What do you feel? How do you feel your team is going to move forward with what they've done? Now, with what I understand, they've basically have mortgaged their future to 2 men. So LeBron and the other guy. Sorry, Westbrook? Yeah.
Russell Westbrook,
right. I'm thinking of the other man, too. I don't know if it's a 3-man
Anthony
team.
Davis.
Yeah, to Anthony Davis. So Anthony Davis, Westbrook, and LeBron. Now, I mean, that's 3 guys, great players, phenomenal. However, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? What do you think?
I think that they need to just blow it up. I really do. They need to stop trying to push for a victory. It's not, there's nothing left. They've given, get Westbrook and to get Davis, all of the depth that helped them win the championship in 2 years ago is gone. They don't have any depth anymore.
How many picks do they trade?
Too many. And the thing is, you trade bench guys that are very important too. You don't realize guys like David Caruso did a lot for this team.
Yes,
they're all gone.
Oh, absolutely.
And what did they do to replace those guys? They signed old guys that used to be good, but what's Dwight Howard going to do? What's Carmelo Anthony going to do at their age?
They'll do a little bit, but they're not going to be doing what they did 5-6 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. They're both over 36 years old.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 36. Yeah. I didn't know how old the two of them were.
Melo's 38.
38. Okay. Yeah. So, and I mean, Melo's had an interesting career to say the least. So
yes, he's been quite a colorful person.
Yes, very interesting. Absolutely. Yeah, that's one way to put it. But he's a guy. I mean, he's a big city guy like L.A. and New York and all that. But I mean, he was in New York for the Knicks for a while. And anyway, I think. I mean, I don't know the Lakers very well. Not anymore. I was in the Kobe Shaq era. I know that was a while back. And then when Kobe basically took the team on his back before he passed away. I mean, he really that era was amazing to watch. But then after that, I mean, LeBron did bring one to them, so I mean that's great. They got one championship out of him.
When the problem is when Kobe retired, there was nobody that would be the standout. There was nobody. So they went and grabbed LeBron James as soon as they could, the first chance they got. And
Yes.
And obviously, who isn't going to grab LeBron James the first chance?
Absolutely.
But the problem is LeBron James is kind of a control freak, I think, and he controls who's in and out. And that needs. I don't think that the Lakers need that anymore. They need to move on.
Well, that's a fair
But
statement.
there was no way LeBron was just going to leave $41 million on the table because he's not going to get $41 million anywhere else.
No, that's right. He's in a market that will dictate the 41. He will not get it with the Suns or the Portland Trailblazers or.
That's why he picked up his option.
Right.
100%.
And I mean, he's a businessman too, let's be honest, and he knows what he's doing. It's very interesting. That's why,
And he owns a lot of his businesses are in LA, so that's why he's there.
Oh, I think he's going to finish there. I don't believe he's going anywhere else unless some team decides to throw a big wad of money at him and say, 1 year wonder, let's go, let's try to make a one win with you, and then after that he'll set sail and be done. And
well, the one thing I did laugh at with him, there was a rumor that he would consider going back to Cleveland, but I really don't see it.
Well, he's done Cleveland twice. He was drafted there, and then he went back and he won a championship. He did what he asked the city. He did what the city asked, and you know what? He brought them championship. I think he even brought them like finals too. It wasn't just championships.
He was in the finals like 4 or 5 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean that is a lot of basketball for one guy to play. Let's be honest. Like those knees and those shoulders can't take that forever. I don't care how fit you are. Yeah,
he's 37, but I'm sure that body's about 48.
Well, it's definitely up there, 100%. And I mean, you can see it now. Whenever he plays, he's always nursing something. He's not like he was 5 years ago, like the other guys. He's kind of in the same boat as Westbrook and Melo. They're both older players. They're all older players. So there's aches and pains now.
Like with LeBron too, the way he plays, he can't move as fast as he used to.
No, and that's fair. Well, it's called time, right? Time just
father time catches.
Father time wears you down. Any player goes through it. So anyway, it's just an interesting story because the LA did mortgage so much for this idea, and I mean they
thought they could keep it going with the 2020 win by adding another guy like Westbrook or Davis. But you're forgetting you're not just adding 2 superstars, you're adding 2 more giant egos.
Yeah, and that's one thing LA doesn't have any short of, which is egos.
Basketball, that's the problem in basketball, is egos. They destroy basketball teams in basketball because it doesn't matter if there's someone better than you, they always think they're the best.
Right, absolutely. And you see that league wide. I mean, look at now that we could flip over into the Brooklyn talk, you mentioned to me just in the break that Durant's looking for a trade. Now, here's my theory on this. I think the Raptors should go for him.
I see him wanting to go there.
Well, he had that issue back when he hurt his leg, and Toronto gave him a bit of a tough time. Some fans gave him a hard time, and the city had to apologize. I mean, during the finals. And anyway,
you know what though? If he was a Laker, no one would, or if he was a Raptor, sorry, they would love him. They're only doing what fans do, and everybody knows that.
Yeah, and I understand that too. Me included. Like that was also 3 years ago. Like, let's be honest. These guys have a lot of money to help their feelings out if they've been hurt. Let's be honest. They don't have to think about it. And they think of championships and stuff like that. So I think it would be a good. What's that?
With Durant is he's in the first year of a 4-year, $194 million deal starting in the fall. Why is he requesting a trade?
Well, that's what I was wondering, because I did cross this earlier today. I did see it pop up on my phone, but I didn't read it. So I don't know if you have it open right now. I don't know if you have it open right now, but if you do, maybe they shed some light on what's happening here, because
it doesn't have many details. It just says that he's entering the final year of his deal. It says that Phoenix and Miami are among 2 of the teams that Durant has on his wish list.
Okay.
My thought behind this is recently, remember the whole thing with Kyrie Irving?
Yes, I do.
What if that has an impact on this? Maybe Durant and Irving are not very good friends or like each other very much.
Well, it's very possible because, again, as you mentioned just a few minutes ago, egos are a huge thing in the NBA. And I mean, I'll be honest, the Brooklyn team is so ego based. It's unbelievable. These guys are really hard. I don't even know how they were able to cobble that team together and even make
How
a
do you
run.
coach those guys?
You
How do you
can't.
coach them?
You can, but it's not easy. There's no way.
You need a Pat Riley to coach those guys.
Well, yeah, you need a guy like a Popovich, a Riley, or even a guy like the man Nelson would have been a good choice. He's no longer with us. I think he passed away a while back. But I mean, he was an excellent coach too for the Orlando Magic and all that. And he was Don Nelson, and he would be a guy like another guy, Phil Jackson, anything with a very veteran-based coach, right? But yeah,
Just listen to these names. Like, how do you keep these egos in check? Irving, Durant, Simmons, Seth Curry, Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond.
they're all superstars, all of them.
At least at one point they were.
Yeah, in various points in their career, they're yes,
but they're all egos.
Right.
Everyone knows how Blake Griffin was in the Clippers.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. It's one of those things, man. It'll be interesting to see if the team gets torn apart or if they can keep it together, because I don't think it's going to be kept together. It's going to be torn apart.
I don't know how Steve Nash can coach that team.
And there's the other guy. He's just as big as ego as the other guys are.
I know. He's like Canada's all-time best player ever in basketball.
He's just nicer about it. That's all.
Yeah.
He's just a nice guy, but he's got an ego too. He likes to win. He's not a sit by, oh golly gee, I'm just here to coach basketball. No, this guy's a competitor. He's fierce too. He wants to win. And I watched some of that series.
He missed his shots. It wasn't just like, oh, I missed. It was
No, he was mad. He was mad guy. So anyway,
he didn't miss many.
No, he didn't miss many. No. Anyway, it's interesting to see, but yeah, that'll be a very interesting story. We'll have to keep an eye on that story as we do more episodes. We'll have to maybe do an update or something on this. So,
now, I just want to let everyone know there are many, many more signings in the NBA, but I was just talking about a few of the big ones today.
Yeah, those are the big names, and that's kind of what we're focusing on right now. I mean, we could do a whole other show on the NBA if we wanted to, or we can even do that with as we go along. So we'll see how we want to do it.
One more I'll say is Anthony Simmons of the Trailblazers just signed a 4-year, $100 million deal too.
Unbelievable. So many $100+ million deals. I mean, that's what it is now. It's all these shorter term, long, big number money. And what's crazy,
that's how the NBA has figured it out for themselves, right?
Yes.
Big money, but max 4 years with an option 5-year.
Right.
I get that way, but I just don't like how much the players dictate what happens in the NBA. They have way too much power for a player.
Right. I agree. 100%. I agree. Their player association did a great job with the last contract, as far as I'm concerned. So.
I don't know how they managed to be able to do that. They can't get in trouble for things they say.
Right.
They basically can, if you sign the mega max deal because you're the star, you dictate whatever players in and out of your organization.
Wow.
It would never fly in hockey.
Hockey, baseball, any of that stuff, any sport but basketball, it seems, right? But it does.
Every time they've ever tried that with other sports, it's failed miserably.
Right.
To me, I think Jack Eichel had a big part of that in Buffalo.
Oh yes. Well, that's where we're going to move into next after our break. We're going to move into the NHL news, and we're going to look into rumors and all that. Now, this stretch will be probably a little longer. We did go a little overbid in our time, but that's okay. Again, inaugural one, so. It's been awesome so far. But definitely we're going to take a little break here. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about our teams, our two teams, and other teams in the NHL to see what's happening out there, what kind of rumors we're having, who could be moving, who might be moving at the draft, all kinds of stuff up and coming. So with that, we'll be right back. Thanks very much for watching our first episode, part 1 of the Seaway Sports Lounge. We will be presenting part 2 in the next few days, and we will see you in the next video.